To all my sisters who lie alone at night, don't you ever doubt your beauty, no. Don't you ever doubt your light. You know that all the love you send always comes right back to you again. Lift up your shining face, 'cause you are amazing grace. All my brothers, trying to be true. You are a living answer to everything that's asked of you. Well, I just hope that you can see just how very much that it means to me. How well you run this race. You are amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound. You turned my whole world upside down. I feel so lost, but you know I'm found. Just gotta look around me. Yeah, yeah. To everybody in this life so wide, keep the heart of a lover, the mind of a child. Oh, you know, I don't think that it's by chance that we met here in this mighty dance. Oh, love and time and space. Oh, it's all amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound to put my lonely night. Don't you ever doubt your beauty, no. Don't you ever doubt your light. You know that all the love you send always comes right back to you again. Lift up your shining face, 'cause you are amazing grace. All my brothers, trying to be true. You are the living answer to everything that's asked of you. Well, I just hope that you can see just how very much that it means to me. How well you run this race. You are amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound. It turned my whole world upside down. I feel so lost, but you know I'm found. Just gotta look around me. Yeah, yeah. To everybody in this life so wide, keep the heart of a lover, the mind of a child. Oh, you know, I don't think that it's by chance that we met here in this mighty dance. Oh, love and time and space. Oh, it's all amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound to put my feet back on solid ground. I feel so lost, but you know I'm down. Gotta look around me. It's all amazing grace. 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 It's all amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. 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 It's all amazing grace. 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 sisters who lie alone at night. Don't you ever doubt your beauty, no. Don't you ever doubt your light. You know that all the love you send always comes right back to you again. Lift up your shining face, 'cause you are amazing grace. All my brothers, trying to be true. You are the living answer to everything that's asked of you. Well, I just hope that you can see just how very much that it means to me. How well you run this race, you are amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that turned my whole world upside down. I feel so lost, but you know I'm found. Just gotta look around me. Yeah, yeah. To everybody in this life so wide, keep the heart of a lover in the mind of a child. Oh, you know, I don't think that it's by chance that we met here in this mighty dance. Oh, love and time and space, oh, it's all amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound to put my feet back on solid ground. I feel so lost, but you know I'm down. Just gotta look around me. It's all amazing grace. 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 It's all amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. 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 It's all amazing grace. 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 It's all amazing. It's all amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. So amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. So amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. So amazing. It's all amazing grace. It's all amazing. It's all amazing. It's all amazing. It's all amazing. So amazing. It's all amazing. Everybody say it's all amazing.
God morning and welcome to our Sunday celebration. Happy March and welcome to a new month, and what a glorious day of celebration it is today. My name is Julia Mattis and I am the president of the Board of Trustees here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, as well as a volunteer. And today I will be your presider. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. Welcome to all of you in virtual land, especially those of you on Facebook. We would greatly appreciate it if you would share this live stream to bring more of us together in the energy of spirit and love. I'm going to take a moment here just to let you do that. Go ahead and hit that share button down in the corner and send it out to all your friends and family and out into virtual world. Wonderful. Thank you. Our vision here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living is to contribute to a world that works for everyone. We are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. Our work here as a community is to illuminate the spiritual truth that we belong to each other. And that calls for us to be inclusive, to celebrate and embrace our unique identities, ability status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. And now, I invite you to take a deep breath, settle in, and set an intention for this week. And now, I ask you to open to receive spiritual guidance throughout our time together this morning. And for those of you on Facebook, please feel free to share your intention in the chat so that we can support you. We have a saying here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living: singing or listening to music is like praying twice. So we begin each service with a song. And this week, we're so excited and so blessed to have and welcome a new musical guest artist, new to us anyway. Chad Warren creates easy listening music grounded in humility and authenticity. So let's give a warm welcome to Chad Warren.
Hey, I'm so grateful to be with you today. The first song I'm going to play is called Do for Something New. I wrote this song when I was 17 years old. Car broke down just the other day. I lost my keys in my wallet, I had nothing to say. But why me? Why me? It's all coming now, it's falling like rain and over. Won't go away until I feel insane. Why me? Why me? 'Cause I'm due for something new. 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 Things like my keys in my wallet, I know what to lose. But that'd be an end if I lost her too. It hits me the hardest when I'm all alone. I know it would be worse if we talked on the phone. Well, I hate change, I don't mean to complain, but sometimes it's hard to take on that next big thing. Yeah. 'Cause I'm due for something new. I'm due for something new, yeah. I'm due for something new. I'm due for something new. Well, it's time I stop being so concentrated on these little things in life I think are so complicated. I believe there's more important things I could do. Take full responsibility for what I choose. I'm not trying to get sympathy from you, just spilling out my heart, I hope you relate to. I'm due for something new. Something that'll boost it to the top and make the pain stop. Something more than blue. I'm due for something new. Something that'll boost into the top and make the pain stop and make it go away. I'm due for something new. I'm due for something new. How about you? Yeah, 'cause I'm due for something new. Oh, 'cause I'm due for something new.
What a great song for us today. We are due something new. Thank you, Chad, for that amazing musical gift. What a great way to kick off our service today. As our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, taught, in principle, the great religions of the world do not differ as much as they appear to. And that's why we take time each month, at the beginning of the month, to recognize and honor a variety of religions as sacred paths to God. I now invite our licensed practitioner, Rebecca Bell, to join us and lead us in our sacred breaths of faith.
Let us breathe in together as we honor each faith. As we take in the first breath, we honor Christianity as a path of love and forgiveness. As we take in the second breath, we honor Buddhism as a path of compassion and Four Noble Truths. As we take in the third breath, we honor Judaism as the path of ethical living through sacred law. As we take in the fourth breath, we honor Baha'i as the path of unity and peace. As we take in the fifth breath, we honor Islam as a path of surrendering to the will of God as the highest calling. As we take in the sixth breath, we honor Confucianism as a path of deliberate tradition. As we take in the seventh breath, we honor Taoism as a path of harmony and balance. As we take in the eighth breath, we honor the traditions of indigenous people as a path that recognizes and honors spirit in all creation. As we take in the ninth breath, we honor Shintoism as the path of optimism and the inherent goodness of humanity. As we take in the 10th breath, we honor Hinduism as the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. As we take in the 11th breath, we honor Akan as the path that honors the divine, ancestors, and nature. As we take in the 12th breath, we honor our own faith, the science of mind, as the path of adherence to universal spiritual law and transformation through the commitment to our spiritual practices. And as we take in the final breath of this sacred ceremony, we invite you to hold sacred any and all faiths in all their multiplicity by knowing love as the highest power that guides them all. Namaste, Ashe, and so it is.
And so it is. Ooh, thank you, Rebecca, for leading us in that sacred practice, the breaths of faith. If this is your first time experiencing the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We want you to know that no matter who you are or what your spiritual path may be, you are always welcome here. There are a variety of ways to connect and engage with our fabulous community. We invite you to continue watching for our announcement roll at the end of service, where you will find updates on events, classes, everything exciting coming up. Links on all events can also be found on our newly redesigned interactive website at columbiacsl.com/events, or you can always email us at info@columbiacsl.com for more information. And now, let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. Once again, I invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment here and now, Find that sacred place within where spirit is all there is. We will have a contemplative reading by Cindy Pridgeon, followed by a guided meditation and affirmative prayer by Rebecca Bell. Cindy?
Good morning. Today's reading is from Science of Mind Daily Guide, March 2023, by Reverend Dr. Michael Gott. Be yourself. We begin with two quotes. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. That's attributed to Oscar Wilde. And from Ernest Holmes in This Thing Called You, God is over all, in all, and through all. God is right where I am. I am at peace with myself. How often do we seek the approval of others when we'd be better served by living our authentic truth? A great deal, it seems. There is value in being aware of the myth we create as we move in the world. Brene Brown says, the only people who don't care what others think are sociopaths. The key here is not to be ignorant of how we are perceived, but to live our lives from our spiritual essence, regardless of whether or not it's what others expect or desire of us. And in truth, when we fully live from our authenticity, we bring our gifts to humanity. Have you ever been a recipient of a kindness that wasn't authentically given? It's not a true gift at all. When we show up as who we really are, and when we tell the truth about our experiences, we serve others, though they may not perceive it that way in the moment. Years ago, I made a decision to leave an organization I cared deeply about. I knew it was the right and authentic choice for me, though some would be disappointed. I sought counsel from a wise friend who shared this quote from Alan Cohen with me. There is no private good. I came to see how true this is. There is only one life. When we truly seek to live our highest and best choices, we serve the whole world. Please join me in today's affirmation. I am the life of God expressed in individuality. I honor my unique expression. I love who I am. Today, I'm willing to be myself fully and authentically. And so it is. Namaste.
So let's take a deep breath in together and release. Be still and know. Most of us live life looking outwardly. The wise learn to look inwardly. The disciplines of looking inwardly are termed together as meditation. Take a deep breath, and in your mind's eye, imagine you are sitting at the top of a mountain overlooking a beautiful lake. The lake is glass still. And in that still lake, you can see the reflection of the clouds, of the sun, of the trees. As you take a few moments, appreciate the beauty of nature reflected on that clear and deep surface. You see the beauty of the clouds moving in the sky, of the breeze lightly blowing the trees, all reflected in that still, beautiful lake. And as you take a deep breath in, imagine now that the lake is a metaphor for your mind. In the clear, still mind is the reflection of life. In that beautiful reflection of the mind, of the still mind, the absolute beauty, joy, and love of life is reflected in that still mind. take a moment and appreciate that beauty reflected. Being still and know. And from that meditation into an affirmative prayer, knowing that God is all there is. From the farthest little cosmic dust to the minuscule little cell inside of each one of us, and everywhere in between is God. God is all that there is. And we are made of God. That is just the profound and amazing celebratory truth that God is what we are, these divine, individual expressions of God, of the One. And so it is with this God, this self, this individualized self, that we bring ourselves into the day, into this day today that is full of joy. This Sunday that is celebratory, is a celebration, is a welcome to our new minister, is a celebration of all the work and the journeying and the understanding and the learning and the growing that this community has done over the last several years. What a joy, what a celebration. And knowing that there is that reflection of love and life and joy in our lives, we just celebrate all of life. Yes, I will have more, please. And it is in that feeling of anticipated joy and of just straight up happiness in our hearts and joy in our hearts that we are moving into the next step and the next step and the next breath. It is in that feeling that we can cultivate of peace, of joy, of welcome, of excitement, of anticipation. This is how we are living our lives. And so it is with great joy that I give thanks for that knowing that creating a feeling of joy, of peace, of love, of gratitude is what life is. And in that reflection of my own expression of love, my own feeling of joy, I can say yes to all of God. And so we release this word into that law that is. It is expressing and manifesting as all. And so with joy, with love, with peace, with expectation, with confidence, we be still, we know, and we release. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Yes, please. I will have more of that. Thank you, Cindy and Rebecca, for that amazing, amazing time of sacred practice. Sacred spiritual practice. Thank you. In this community, our practitioners and ministers are eager to know the truth with you and for you. Feel free to email your request for prayer or counseling to prayer@columbiacsl.com, and we will hold your truth in prayer throughout the week. And now, please help me welcome back our amazing guest artist of the day, Chad Warren.
So about 20 years ago, when I was in high school, my mom exposed me to this work called nonviolent communication. You might have heard of it. She went on to become a trainer. I was resistant at first, but over the years, it's made a huge impact on my life, my music, my family, my marriage, in every aspect. And now we have a podcast called Empathy Jam that we just started this year. And it's going really, really well. So this song is called I Can Feel Your Pain. And I probably wrote it about 10 years ago. And yeah, here we go. I can feel your pain I think your thoughts should go on. It's hard to talk, can't help but gravitate on a drop of faith that runs down my window. Caught me fighting to look through and see. I can feel your pain. Whoa, whoa. Feel your pain. I can feel your pain. Listen to you. Not tell you what I do, but I listen to you. And the silence of my helping hand lets the light in to understand. The silence of my helping hand, you can walk again. I can feel your pain. So yell it all out, no doubt about it. Cleanse your soul, it's okay to cry. Helping you is it helping me, giving me life and the strength I need. Let it out, no doubt about it. Cleanse your soul, it's okay to cry. Can't deny the patience, it's our life. Oh, when we make it, I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain. Whoa, whoa. And the silence of my helping hand lets the light in to understand. The silence of my helping hand, you can walk again. And the silence of my helping hand lets the light in to understand. The silence of my helping hand, you can walk again. Yeah, the silence of my helping hand lets the lights in to understand. The silence of my helping hand, you can walk again. And the silence of my helping hand lets the light in to understand. The silence of my helping hand, you can walk again. I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Chad. What an amazing, amazing song that was. And thank you for sharing your talent with us this morning. So this community, as Rebecca said, visioned and declared what we wanted most in our next spiritual leader. Someone who was loving, honest, compassionate, collaborative, dynamic, inspirational, progressive, and living a life in alignment and in integrity. And guess what? We believe we have found all of that in our new senior minister. Rev Rafe Ellis is an ordained minister of Centers for Spiritual Living. Rev Rafe has 63 years of living at the intersectionality of having been born a female to male transgender person, raised as a cisgender female, living as a lesbian for more than 20 years of his adulthood until coming full circle and undergoing his FTM, female to male gender alignment process at the age of 43. He now lives his true, authentic, and accurate self as an open and out FTM transgender man. Rev Rafe is one of the most compassionate people you'll ever meet. I can definitely say that that has been my experience. His life experiences have been broad and often dramatic, having navigated abject poverty, multiple forms of abuse, gang violence, and addiction. He treasures every messy moment as essential to his authentic self and the wholeness of life. He is an inspirational speaker, a gifted counselor, a master teacher, and a lifelong social justice activist. Please help me welcome our new senior minister and spiritual leader, Rev Rafe Ellis.
Oh my goodness. Let's take a breath together. Oh, I so wish that we were actually in person. And so I'm taking a minute to kind of collect in your energy through this virtual platform. Um, our topic this morning, for the month, is cultivating authenticity. And for this morning, it's, do you, everybody else is already taken. And what I most want to focus on is this idea of cultivation and what that really looks like. And if you hear whining in the background, that is my dogs who are not happy about being in their crate this morning. That's their authentic expression. So this idea of cultivation takes time. It takes work. It takes knowledge. When we grow a garden, we don't just toss out the seeds and expect to have a great garden. We cultivate. We take out the weeds. We turn the soil. We add fertilizer. We plant, we make our rows all nice and neat, and we label what's in them. And I think sometimes we tend in this human realm to experience a certain level of frustration that our spiritual journeys show up as work. And I think what I want to offer you this morning is that we can easily shift that perspective simply by shifting the word work to get to. See, work is a human concept. It's not a spiritual concept. And our most authentic self that we're cultivating is our spiritual self. And the weeds that we have to pull are all of the conditioning of humanity, of this physical realm. And I think sometimes we forget that every thought that has ever been thunk in the whole history of creation remains eternally active now. It's not some stagnant file where things pop up. Everything is always active in this now moment. And so we always have the opportunity to, as Ernest Holmes said, neutralize thought. I'm really struck by the word neutralize, because it indicates to me that I can't really eliminate a thought, which makes sense in this concept of eternality. If we could eliminate anything in creation, truly eliminate it, then eternality ceases to exist. And so we neutralize, and then we add what our authentic self is. It's all of those things that Julia read in my bio are things of condition. They're not the authentic me. They are events, they are aspects, they are experiences of the conditioned me. Um, Turning them into a message. The mess is the condition, the message is the authentic me. The Ernest Holmes defines our ego as our divine self. Now, here in this physical realm, the word ego has multiple definitions. I invite you to begin to embrace your ego as your divine self, as the truth of you. It's Women's History Month, and so I want to share this quote with you. Well, first, let me tell you who she is. H. Emily Cady was an American homeopathic physician and the author of a lot of New Thought spiritual writings. In 1896, she wrote a book called Lessons in Truth, which was a course in 12 lessons in practical Christianity. That book was adopted by the Unity Church denomination and is the most widely read book in their movement. H. Emily Cady was born on July 12th, 1848 in Dryden, New York, and she made her transition on January 3rd, 1941 in Manhattan, New York. And here's what she says about cultivating. We cultivate individuality by listening to the still small voice down deep within us and boldly following it, even if it does make us different from others, as it surely will. And that comes from Lessons in Truth, page 73. I think the most poignant part of that is even if it makes us different from others. Because so much of this physical realm is about becoming like other people. We have these identities, we have these boxes that society would really prefer that we operate in, and that we follow the script that is handed down from generation to generation to generation, and that we stop deviating from that script because it makes us collectively uncomfortable. Humanity, the conditioned humanity, really works best in its comfort zone of predictability. That's what our brain gives us. And it's a necessary function. I mean, if every day you went to work, it was complete and total chaos, if you didn't know who your supervisor was every day, if you didn't know what your job was every day, it would kind of be hard to do your job, right? So it's a good thing that we have a certain level of predictability. On the other hand, our authentic self, our creative self, our divine self is never stagnant. It is always new every moment. Each of us is going to be different today, having participated in this virtual service, than we were when we arrived. Because that's what creation does. It creates. And so if we can lean into listening to that still small voice, cultivating the courage of authenticity, if you will, being willing to pull the weeds that obscure those tender cotyledons of growth that are just popping their head above the mental soil, if you will, then our human self, our conditioned self, begins to shift and change. Now, I'm not going to lie, that's going to make some people around you really uncomfortable. They're not going to recognize the you that they have decided you are. You won't recognize the you that you've decided you are. And that, I submit to you, is grounds for celebration because it means you're growing. It means you're advancing. It means that still small voice within you is being heard. And it's one of the places where I think community is the most valuable thing that we can have. Because if we're all doing this cultivation together, then we have one another to lean on. We have one another to say, I don't know what I'm being called to do, and I'm scared. Or I know exactly what I'm being called to do, and it terrifies me. And we get support from one another, and we find out that we're not the only ones experiencing it. Um, in all transparency, I am in love with you, Columbia. Absolutely in love with you. I have been since day one several years ago when Divinity brought us together to do work on becoming more inclusive. Did I imagine this moment? No, not even, not even. And yet here we are. And it's good that you see this mantle behind me because everything else in this home looks like a bomb went off as we're preparing and boxing things up and filling up a moving pod. And the weather, which is typically lovely this time of year, is consecutive blizzards. Um, if you could see out this window behind me, you'd see about 4 inches of snow that this one in the last 4 hours. So it's kind of cuckoo here in the physical realm. And yet, that still small voice inside that knows, that has that certainty that all is well, that that our path is divinely guided to be exactly where it is we're going. Um, is an amazing thing to navigate. And sometimes it's a clunky thing to navigate because it doesn't mean our humanity goes to sleep. We still have stress. We still have, how is this going to happen? Thoughts. And it's in those moments that we get to, we don't have to, but we get to lean into our spiritual practice. And there's a reason that we really focus on consistency in spiritual practice. Because just like cultivation, consistency of spiritual practice makes it much easier to grow. Right? When the soil is already prepared, when your mental practice is already prepared, it's much easier to grow something new. I'm going to start wrapping up with this. It's that place, imagine that you have done nothing to cultivate your garden, and all of a sudden, every food source shuts down. Well, now you're scrambling. You're scrambling to cultivate the soil. You're scrambling to create a water source. You're scrambling to find seeds. You're scrambling to learn how to plant things, when to plant what, in order to sustain yourself. And many of us do that with our spiritual practice. We don't engage in a regular spiritual practice. And then when something happens, we're scrambling to anchor. We're scrambling to know the truth of our own being. We're scrambling to experience our wholeness. And so I invite you, if you don't have a regular spiritual practice, start one. And it doesn't even matter what you do, just start. Start where you are. Just like if you were digging a garden, some people have a great space for a garden. Some people have to build a raised box because they don't have. Some people have patio containers. So start where you are. Reach out to people that you trust. Reach out to the practitioners in our community. Ask them for guidance on how to begin a spiritual practice. If you do nothing else but spend 1 minute a day simply sitting in what's my spiritual practice, you will begin to develop one. Right? Let go of who else has a spiritual practice. Let go of what the ideal spiritual practice looks like, because in all honesty, the ideal spiritual practice looks just like the ideal diet. It's the one you will follow. And so just do you. Just do you. Listen, as H. Emily Cady invited us, to that still small voice and simply ask, what spiritual practice will serve me? Thank you.
Thank you, Rev Rafe, for that very inspiring message. Cultivating the courage to be authentic was my takeaway from today. Wow. And by the way, we are in love with you too, Rev Rafe, so right back at you. Please join us next week in person, because that man will be here next week at the Hawthorne Center talking to us live and in person. The talk title is going to be Dropping Our Masks. And for those of you who can't be in the Maryland area, please join us virtually online, as our service will also be broadcast at the same time. Our guest musician next week will be the talented and amazing Felicia Taylor. And now it's my pleasure to once again bring back Chad Warren for more music for the soul.
Sanctuary, one of my favorite centering or prayer songs of all time. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, teach the children to stop the fighting, start uniting, live as one. Let's get together, love each forever, sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. Let's get together, love each forever, sanctuary for you. Teach the children to stop fighting, start uniting, live as one. Let's get together, love each forever, sanctuary for you. Sanctuary for you.
Oh, wow. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you, Chad, for that wonderful, wonderful melody. We so appreciate you sharing your gifts and talents with us, and thank you, Jamie, for introducing this fabulous artist to our community today. Chad and his wife, Tiffany, have a podcast called Empathy Jam, where they learn, share, grow with others through empathy. And be sure to check out Chad's website, chadwarrencreative.com, to learn more about his music and other creative endeavors. Oh, my goodness, what a service! Wow. We have just received so much, and now we can consciously give back. I invite you to invoke feelings of love and gratitude and abundance and joy, and allow them to fill you and the space around you. Whew. And let's use the power of our word by speaking our prosperity affirmation together. I know that the infinite abundance of the universe is blessing and expanding my offering for the good of all, and so it is. We offer easy ways to donate to our community. You can make a one-time or reoccurring donation through our website, www.columbiacsl.com, or you can text your donation to us at 410-498-6175. And we know that as we give, we receive, and we do so in great gratitude. That's the law of circulation. Please join me as we bless every gift bestowed upon Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. Together we receive these gifts, knowing that they nurture and support our vision of contributing to a world that works for everyone. And so it is. We so appreciate every contribution. Your support means that we remain a vital and thriving center for everyone's spiritual nourishment. And on behalf of our entire community, we thank you for being a part of our spiritual family today, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. At the end of the service, remember to stay online and watch for our announcements so that you can keep informed on everything that's coming up. Just one quick reminder, this Tuesday, the women's group will be meeting virtually at 7 p.m. You can find the link to sign up for the women's group meeting and the links for all of our events, both in our newsletter and on our columbiacsl.com website. Just click on the calendar. And if you don't get our newsletter, go ahead and sign up on that website for the newsletter as well. And it is now my pleasure to bring back once again Rev Rafe to close our service with an affirmation for the week.
Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's getting a little glitchy here in the storm. I want to leave us with the words of Joseph Murphy from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Patience, kindness, love, goodwill, joy, happiness, wisdom, and understanding are qualities which never grow old. Cultivate them and express them and remain young in mind and body. And so it is. See you next week.
I am a child of this universe. The ocean dances at my feet.
The wind plays a melody through my hair. I am loved at every turn. I am kissed by Mother. I am a child of this universe. The sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have a light for me in the sky. I am honored by all life. I am held by Father Time. Every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on the tree, every mountain top sings of the glory